Hello.
Hello,
Hello there.
big fly.
Good. All right, we are live and direct,
Yes, you were.
something like that. We'll be up in a moment. Uno momento, por favor.
There you go.
Now the screen's up. Okay, a 1, a 2, a 3. Ha, 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 ha. I am the count. I am the count.
I thought it was
Boom.
I am the count and I can count.
I am the count, and I can count.
Yeah.
I can count on you to
Mhm.
correct me when
Every
I fuck off.
Yes, I'm very good at that.
Yes, yes, badly my soul. Yes, yes. So what's happening, everybody? It's Sammy
And Kimmy.
Yeah, she's catching it before I do it. We got make exciting YouTube thumbnails with the thumbnail maker. Ooh.
That's
Our
new.
software has decided that it's going to sell me shit.
They've updated things.
They updated the stuff. All right.
Updates are fun.
Updates are fun. So this is Sammitized podcast for 9 p.m.
What number is this?
This is one. Need one more finger. One. No. So this is one.
Nice.
So anyway, I just thought I would
And you were telling me about some other interesting news today.
news.
Oh, hi, Brother James.
No, I didn't expect Brother James to be out there. I seen a picture of him out in some long lost land of hydros and lowriders.
Cool.
So yeah, I see.
No, you were telling me about because we've been on for a
yeah,
year.
so we got all sorts of cool news.
Yeah.
So let's get started with the news. We'll start with our news first and get the house cleaning out of the way, and then we will move on to the other news. He's at his monthly lowrider meet
Nice.
because I all I seen was a picture.
It's probably
with,
at White Castle.
yeah.
That I've yet to go to.
Or the local, Latino restaurant. One of the two.
Hey, it's all right.
But yeah, so anyway.
I still remember having the car club, and people would meet James, and they would automatically assume he spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
And they'd come up and yada, 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 yada in Spanish, and he was like nodding his head.
What's
And
your problem?
I swore he understood it, and then later we learned he don't speak any Spanish.
Yeah. So it was like.
I mean, I'm sure he understood a lot of it, but yeah.
It was like we used to when I used to work for this company. Yeah, right. Exactly. Keep teasing Kimmy to go to White Castle. We actually stood in line and then we left. That was even more of a tease, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I went to Mexico one time and we're in line. Me and my buddy are sitting there in line, and because we had bought some alcohol, some tequila from across the way.
Yeah.
And some other trinkets, and we had to wait in line. Well, while we're waiting in line, yeah, I bet you he's probably basically we're waiting in line, and my buddy's like, "I'll wait if you need to go use the restroom," right? So I was like, "Okay." So he's sitting in line, and I go to walk down this hallway, and I'm waiting, and there's a guy in the bathroom. And it's like a one bathroom,
stall,
stall, lock the door type of thing. And I'm sitting there waiting, and then this other dude comes up, this really like this crazy looking redneck dude comes up. He's like, "Oh, waiting for the bathroom, huh?" I said, "Yeah." he goes, I'll just go take a leak outside. And he goes to walk out the back door. Then when he proceeds to come in, this freaking Mexican dude starts running up, and he starts rattling off shit, right? And my buddy is like, the hallway is like maybe from me to you in like a corner. Like it's like he's getting closer and closer in line to the front of the line. And so I'm like, how long is this guy going to be in the fucking bathroom, right?
Right.
Well, this Mexican dude comes up and he starts rattling off something in Mexican.
Spanish.
Mexican, Spanish, same thing. And so he starts rattling off this shit in Spanish, and I'm like, "Well, go ahead, man. It's all good." He's like, yeah, gracias, and the guy comes out. He goes in, and then he comes right back out. Gracias, and he runs off again. And my buddy's like, "Fuck, I didn't know you spoke Spanish. That'd been some pertinent information when we were buying all this shit." And I was like, "I don't, man." He goes, "Well, how'd you know what that guy said?" I said, "He started rambling, and he's grabbing his crotch." I'm like, the man had to take a piss, and he had to piss like now.
Right? Yeah.
It's like,
body language speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's like grabbing your balls and rattling off to me like with tears in your eyes. It's like,
right?
I've been holding this shit for too long, man. Get your ass in the bathroom. And I was like, you ain't going to be long. You're there. You had some of that menudo, and
then you'd have been holding something else.
Yeah, squirting from the other way. Yep, yeah, exactly. So, for those who don't know, and if you ever do go to the land of the Latinos over in Mexico, menudo is basically all the extra parts that nobody eats into a soup.
I think in Alaska they call it slump and they feed it to the dogs.
Yeah, but in Mexico they call it menudo and they eat it for breakfast, which I was thinking it was quite odd. But so I just remember going into this like little Mexican place to eat, and my buddy's like, "Yeah, we come here all the time because we had a plant over right on the other edge of Mexico."
Yes.
Piedras
Negras.
Yes. Well, yeah. So long and short was that they were over there. So they ate at the same place, which was like their safe place.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and it said special menudo, and the one guy's, I'm like, "What's that?" And the one guy just says soup. And my buddy's like, the dude's like, both of them are pointing at him, so you can't see him. He's like,
yeah.
Tell you later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want the special. I'll just get the
I'll get a sandwich or a taco. Or
I'll get the tacos with the the dog and kitty stuff.
Well, how about all those dogs and things that are coming from China?
Yeah.
Those are like high-dollar breeds.
Yeah, speaking of which, I brought Kimmy over there, and we talked about this once before, but it's just funny to talk about. So this guy, he was this Latino dude.
In my defense, I'd never left the country.
She never left the country. She went with me.
Yes.
And so we had driven over from San Antonio, Texas, and decided to visit for the day. And the guy was all excited to talk to Kimmy, talk to me, and to show us around town.
Show us around
and
his
he's in
town.
his little Jeep Cherokee, and he picks us up over at our hotel, and he's driving us across the border, and he's showing us everything, telling us all about it. And then there's this big dog walks in front of the truck, and he stops, and the dog walks across, and Kim goes, "Look, they do have dogs here." And they eat everything.
What I was told.
And the guy,
don't tell me things like that, because I'll believe it, and then something embarrassing will come out later.
So the guy gets this nasty, like, no, we don't. It's like, yeah, not everybody eats animals in Mexico, and then he was
like, yeah, we have dogs.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, okay, and like, yeah, it was like, oh, I'm like, oh shit, already in the pickle before we even got started.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I thought it was hilarious, but you couldn't laugh.
He laughed later.
Laughed later, but at the point he was like, fuckers. You know? Oh, well. What are you going to do? Funny asshole. Welcome to Kimmy's world.
That's it.
Kim's world. Party time. Excellent.
That show was on too, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't know why we ended up on the left end of Mexico.
We do that sometimes.
It's
all good.
Welcome to ADHD prime time as an older person. Woo, woo, woo. Squirrel.
Yeah.
So I did that to my new employee. I was sitting there talking to him about something. Totally went off in like left field into a story. Never gave him the answer he wanted, but he got a great story out of it.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is when you're teaching them. But anyway. And after I did it, I was like, and he went back to work, and I talked about it, and I just totally got him off in the left field. He just didn't even realize.
Maybe it was one of those figure it out moments.
It was at that point that, either he just gave up or he just, he really didn't seem like he realized that I didn't answer the question. Went into a Biden moment there. Started talking about hot dogs. I know,
Yeah.
How do you do this? Oh, hot dogs. Yeah, hot dogs. You know how good the hot dogs are?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a Sam's Club hot dog?
Have
you
you ever had a
realize they
Sam's
haven't
Club hot dog
changed the
with
prices?
coleslaw? Yeah.
So it's one of those things. So anyway, welcome to the Sammitized podcast.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we got some good news. We have now, because we've been on YouTube for a year, and thanks to you guys subscribing, we have
a mint.
We have a new goal for you. We need another 300 people.
Yeah.
We're
really close.
We're almost halfway there.
Yes.
So anyway, we need to get friends, family, and everybody else to get a friend and subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Because they gave us a deal of the day.
Yes. Because we've been doing so much podcasting. Right.
And uploading.
Yeah.
That they have cut my monetization situation requirements in half.
Yes.
So
it went from 1,000 when we started this shindig and over a year ago now.
Now they said all I had to do is get 500.
Yeah.
And that basically after the 500, we are at the point that we can be
monetized and might make it to White Castle.
Yeah, we might be able to afford White Castle and the trip there.
Yeah.
So welcome to our world.
Hey, we have fun.
It's Sammitized on a shoestring, but
it's lower, yeah.
But yeah, so
we'll get.
Is a dog around here?
No, that's fireworks from outside. Oh,
that's not fireworks.
No, that's the dog laying over there by where she can't come through. She's mad.
She's mad, and her ass is angry because she's shooting out volumes.
Yeah, stinky ones.
Yes, it's like vapor poop. But anyway, so that's one cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second cool thing that we got going on is the fact that we not only need we only need half the subscribers, but the other piece of the puzzle is that we will now be on Kick and Spotify.
Yes.
Now Kick, I need everybody that's out there listening, all 5 of you, to go download the Kick app and subscribe to Kick. Okay, and if you are subscribed to Kick, go find Sammitized, search for Sammitized, and become one of our friends,
please.
Because if we get 5, then we can start going live on Kick as well. I never understood. I guess they're so small that they won't let us go live right off the bat, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, shit happens.
But Spotify is going to be interesting because we're not going to be live on Spotify. We're going to be rebroadcasting all of our podcasts, all of our videos, and
so
stuff
if you
like
miss
that.
something, check out Spotify.
Yeah. Or if it's one of those things where you can't listen, Spotify is kind of another cool resource to go view our channel. So I just wanted you to know about, because Spotify, it looks so professional. I'm so proud of ourselves because we actually look like we know what the fuck we're doing over there.
Yeah.
Or we don't here. But anyway, so got a cool logo and everything. So go check it out and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to go check and say following the Sammitized podcast on Spotify. So that would be nice if you did.
That would be awesome.
Yes. So for those that can't listen to us live, it's another option for you, especially if you already have a Spotify account. Never hurts anything. So,
and if you don't, you can still listen. Yeah. You just get commercials that aren't ours.
Yes. So anyway, so other than that, figured that I'd go into some really stupid shit for the beginning of the show. I found I was watching these news stories, and I got some really crazy news stories. Oh, by the way, we have a couple of new shorts that we put out today.
Yes.
Kimmy and her beer.
Yes.
And at the Greek restaurant, and and some crazy ass accident that happened on
Manti Avenue.
Manti Avenue, State Road 64.
Yep.
So there was so in the news we have in France. See, it doesn't all happen in Florida, guys, and this is the proof.
So would this be the French man rather than the Florida man?
Yeah, the French man starts with an F. Got to do something there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so basically what had happened was there's a paranoid / panicked drug smuggler in France. He's all jacked up on his own supply in an airplane. Okay.
That's bad.
Well,
wait, is this like the balloon leaked, or this was like he purposely did this?
Like he was in an airplane flying with
paraphernalia or
with
what
paraphernalia.
have you. Yeah. Okay.
And he ended up in too close to a nuclear facility, so it was like a governmental thing, and
like he was flying the plane himself.
Like he's trying to fly this plane under the radar, and he had like 4,000 pounds of freaking crystal meth on board, and had a slight and started getting slightly
flight plan
paranoid.
Deviation. Yeah,
and so a friendly fighter jet decided to check up on him, and as he seen the fighter jet coming closer and closer, and noticing it was coming right towards him, he basically rained upon this one city in France the said crystal meth from his airplane. So I could just imagine. So just imagine all these little pieces of crystal meth.
If that guy isn't in jail right now, I'm pretty sure he's in the ground.
Yeah, he's like.
I'm just saying, because I mean, we've all watched the movies.
Yeah.
You don't deliver the package, what happens?
Yeah. But
some bigger, badder dude comes out of the woodwork, and you're no longer around anymore.
The news story sounded like he had like thousands of pounds, but I don't think it was thousands of pounds. I just think.
Do we know what kind of plane it was?
No, we don't know what kind of plane it was. All I know is that it was that this plane was trying to fly under the radar, got too close to the nuclear plant.
So it had to have been like a Cessna or something.
And basically released the hounds and dropped all this crystal meth all over these people's yards and everything else.
Well, that ain't good.
So a lot of jacked up people in France this week. Is basically what it amounts to.
Something, yeah.
So I thought...
Can't you imagine I mean...
I can just imagine... Hey, what's that? And these kids are going, hey, look, it's candy.
Well, the wind would scatter it if he was opening the bags. If he was just dropping bricks of it, then
I think he was dropping, like, cracking the bags open and letting it rip tater chip.
Oh.
Yeah. So the long and short, basically, he got a little spray. It was raining crystal meth, basically. So I thought that was fucking hilarious. I'm like thinking all these people going, oh, look, it's candy. or when it's in the air, it's vaporizing and these people are eating it. And everybody's just
or
like,
breathing
like,
it.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
It's like there was more
Hopefully-
productivity in
Yeah.
four cities in France than anywhere else in the country this week.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sleepless nights.
Several.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty freaking hilarious. And then back to old Florida. We'll bounce from Florida, and then we go out to another couple other states. Basically, over in Miami, they got the new thing is taking over in Australia they have this thing called a shoey.
Mm.
Okay.
What is it?
You don't know what a shoey is?
Uh-uh.
So basically, a shoey is where they take their shoe off their foot, fill it full of the beer, fill it full of beer, and down it at the bar.
No, not gonna happen.
That's what a shoey is.
That'd ruin my tennis shoes. They must wear a lot of leather shoes there.
No, it's just. I'm a germaphobe.
I'm
just
adventurous.
like,
I am not that adventurous.
Yeah. I think Bert Kreischer did this once, and
yeah, we saw that video.
And I guess that he ended up with like some like what do you call it? What's that?
Fungus of the mouth.
Like sore
like
throat
thrush or something.
Yeah, for like 2 weeks afterwards, because yeah.
Great.
So
yeah.
So that is over in the Miami area.
To me, that's just as bad as, hey, dump that bottle of liquor on your floor there. I'm gonna suck it up.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. But it's worse than that though, because the floor might be
right.
clean, but you're looking at somebody's funky fungus in their foot in their shoe.
Yeah.
And they're
now you're ingesting it.
Like,
That's pretty nasty.
But so over in Florida, in the Miami area, they're taking Crocs and shooting shots out of Crocs.
Gross.
So there's a Croc shot. And I guess it's the new thing over there. But it's a little more cleaner because they don't really... Crocs are rubber and they have holes in them, right?
Right.
So what they do is they drilled a hole in the shoe. It's kind of like it's like a gimmick more than anything. It's not like a real shoey, because they take the Croc, they drill a hole in the sole, and they put a magnet in there where the actual shot glass sits in it.
Oh.
And then they make this special drink and
put it in there.
And they drink, yeah. So it's not really
wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
No thanks.
So, back to the real news.
You have some real news?
Yeah. So, this lady in Maine was out gardening in her backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was hilarious because she's out in her backyard, doing her thing and, whatever, tomatoes, whatever the hell she does during this time of the year. I don't know what they grow. Your turn.
Thank you.
So she's out there doing her tomato thing, and they have a run with black bears in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So the long and short of it is basically this Maine woman looks over, and her dog is barking at this bear, and this bear freaks out and starts chasing the dog. And so the whole idea is maybe you should like run from the bear.
They all have guns up there.
Nope,
I mean,
no gun, nothing else. She walks up to the bear and ends up having to go to the hospital because she punches the bear in the nose.
Oh shit!
It starts boxing a fucking bear. It's like, what are these people in Maine on? It's
and
like
she had stitches from that.
Yeah, she got like I guess the second one the bear had bitten her. Yeah, so
she's made multiple hits to this bear.
Yeah, multiple hits to the nose, and then she received stitches for a wound at the hospital, it says. So it's like
she's lucky it didn't tear her arm off.
Well, I think it's funny because she punched it so hard that she basically screwed up her freaking arm some way, or wrist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of crazy.
That's very crazy.
Now, but so everybody doesn't. I found these stories because everybody's like, "Oh, the Florida man, the Florida man." No, you just don't hear about this weird shit.
Right.
So like another good one that I had
Oh,
found.
so you're telling me there's weirdos in every state?
Exactly. Sometimes they're weirder than us. Being
Awesome.
in Florida.
Yeah.
So we have the Maine person, then we have the France person.
Yep.
And then to finish,
Senor Sprinkles.
To finish off, yeah, Mr. Sprinkles. it's a sprinkling outside.
Pierre Sprinkle.
Yeah, Sprinkle Pierre.
I don't know if his name's Pierre, but it just sounded French.
Yeah.
Jacques. Jacques Sprinkles. I can't think of any more French names. Stereotypical French names, excuse me.
It just looks like glitter everywhere. It's so sparkly. What? Now I feel like, cleaning up the yard for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Right, yeah. In lickety-split time, too.
Yeah. Can I wash your car, man?
Right?
Hey,
it's dirty.
What about that TV over there? Can I see what's inside of it?
Can we hang that up?
Let's take that TV apart and see if we can fix it. I remember down the street from our house, there was a honestly, they're still there. The first run of people that lived in this house were really, really, really bad at
at junk collecting.
We froze on ye old YouTube. Oh well, maybe they got mad at me for advertising Spotify. That can happen. It's funny, every time we talk about a different thing, that's what they end up doing. Yes. Oh no, you're good. It's just on my phone. I'm just on my phone then.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So anyway, so back to the story. So we got so the guys down the street, that were living there, I'd say like 2 years ago. That was when TVs, like the big TVs, were getting
the big console TVs or the flat screens.
Like the big TVs, like the CRT TVs, the ones that had like tubes in them.
Oh, right.
And the tubes they used to put like the older ones, they'd have silver and like gold, connectors and shit like that. So a lot of junk collectors would get into to become chemists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's still guys that do it, but back in the day, it was mostly like the crystal meth heads would come down the street. They'd see a TV,
right?
And they're carrying this big TV down the street, like, "Look what I got!"
Right.
And you see them out there, apart. And the guys are sitting out there taking it all apart.
Get a nickel's worth of silver out of it.
Yeah, but most of the time it wasn't because they were really looking for the silver. It was just like, "Oh, I found some electrical. I'm going to go home and check it out because that's cool,"
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy that was in Tampa when we were there. At that one Circle K where we got the donuts, it's like he's out there he's like buying like what do you call it, electrical tape and shit, and he's out there and he has like this box of electronics. He's like, "Don't mess with my electronics, man," and he's out there just
trying to
with
fiddle
shit.
Around, make something.
It's fucking crazy. It's like, okay, that's all you, buddy. Sorry, not messing with your wiring. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, your wiring's already messed up enough.
Mm.
But the guys down the street, they would take the stuff, and you just see them. Like these two guys would sit there, and they just like go into town in these fucking TVs, and it's just like so weird. And you just see all these busted up TVs like rode up in front of their house, wait for the junkyard guy to show up because they'd gotten whatever they wanted out of them.
Right.
But yeah, it was just like every time I think of that crystal meth, that's the only thing I can think of is. That and the dude that used to be the drug dealer that lived across the street. I remember he said, "Why don't you come over?" He's a really nice guy, but he was a drug dealer.
Mm. He liked to fish.
And he liked to fish. He's good. He was like a good old boy.
Trying to
trying to get by,
advance his opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By selling, weed and whatever pills or whatever else he was selling.
Whatever he could get his hands on, I think.
His hands on.
Right.
And so basically, he offered me to come over for a minute. I want you to look at something for me.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I go over there, and his buddy was there. And I guess that when I got there, thank God I missed the show. Missed the situation, because I guess they went out and did something right before I got there.
Oh, great.
And so I'm sitting on his couch, and now he asked me to come over to look at like his car radio or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I would do.
In tune to fixing.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And I'm sitting on his couch, and he just totally forgot it. It was like going ADD on me, you know? He totally just forgot about that.
He brought you over, and then he forgot what the problem was?
Yeah, so I come over, and his buddy that I know doesn't live there is in his kitchen doing the dishes. And I'm sitting there like, why? He goes, why is he doing dishes? Oh, he just felt like doing the dishes. How you doing today? And I'm like, don't you want me to look at your car? Oh, yeah, I'll look. Yeah, you can look at the radio in a minute. Because I got to do this real quick. I got to clean up before we do anything. And I'm like,
mm-hmm. Like, what you cleaning, fella?
Yeah, and so he'd start sweeping and shit. And I'm like, like, okay. Homeboy's doing the dishes. This guy's sweeping. I'm like, you guys got some girls coming over? No. Just trying to clean. I like a clean house. And then he he made a pile of shit in the middle of the floor, and then just stopped. He goes, you want to go look at that radio now? And I'm like,
okay, sure.
The pile, you got it. Don't you want to finish?
Right.
What you were doing?
Nope.
And so
this guy will take care of it.
So I get up to start walking back to the front door to go to his car, and then all of a sudden I turn around, and he's over there sweeping again, and I'm like what the hell's going on over here?
Yeah.
But it was like, wow, is this what it's like to be in a crackhead house? I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, back to this squirrel. There I go again, squirreled again. But yeah, enough talking about the crystal meth kid. But back to this news story was about this Kentucky man passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I guess that he had like a multitude of family members, like a couple sons, daughters, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the second son of the family was the one that had to put the obituary in. So
okay.
I guess before he died, I guess there was something that went on where, he had told the other son he was his favorite or something.
Mm.
So the kid is writing this obituary up, and he makes up this. So he thought it'd be funny. Okay, Dad was kind of a goofball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's roll with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically makes this obituary that's
hilariously honest.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought it was freaking hilarious, because he's like sitting here, he's like, basically he's like, well, we don't know if he was married, but he was definitely a ladies' man, and he's like, coming from his second favorite son, He goes, divorcee, father, grandfather, owner of a few lots in the trailer park, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he went through this whole line of shit, and I guess it was there was like a ton of it was like what was it, like 4 paragraphs where he just was ripping into his pop.
Oh my God.
And I guess the whole town knew his pop, so I guess it was like this big
funny
ordeal.
haha.
Got to the point where Fox News ended up picking it up, which I think is kind of hilarious.
That is funny.
So anyway, so it's not just Florida, not just Bradenton or Sarasota, Tampa area.
Well,
but Anyway, speaking of news, and yeah, so that was the news. That was the funny news for the week. Now, now over to something else. We'll see if I lose all of our listeners at this point. Well, it's like I always want to talk about stuff, but I don't want to talk.
Donald Trump went to visit my sister in Pickens, South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did she get a picture
today? No, they went to North Carolina to get away from the craziness.
Oh, geez.
She was telling me that because she lives across the street from the fire station,
right?
That they called in like 5 extra firemen to like make sure, not for the 4th of July, mind you,
for just keep Trump from igniting?
Keep the people from, well, you know, they're afraid that I guess people are going to go nuts, or I don't know what they're afraid that they'll injure themselves. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they get a little rambunctious.
Rambunctious. Mm-hmm.
Rambunctious is a nice word for it.
Yep.
Yeah, so, well, good for him. I bet you he didn't trip up the stairs or start shaking hands with people.
I bet you he doesn't wear no-slip slippers.
Yeah, no-slip slippers. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, that was the last viewer. No, I'm just joking. Oh, shit, he's talking about Trump.
We out!
Change the channel.
Right.
It's either that or it was me me saying, oh, yeah. It's like, oh, we'll lose the last subscriber now. But no, it's like when I start talking about something else. But,
well, you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yep,
but, I mean, it was subject matter.
Well, my thing is that with our podcast, I just, you know, I don't want to make anything political.
No, right?
You know, and I'm not trying to push a view. Everybody.
If they would have said Joe Biden was in Pickens, South Carolina, I would have said that.
Oh yeah,
but that was not the facts of the matter.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, like Mike Pence went to some place and he did this big speech in front of all these kids and like I guess they said it was like the creepiest speech ever. Like he just went out there and it was like super, like he had some kind of, like he just started relaying some kind of weird ass speech to everybody.
Oh, well.
So it's like, oh shit, here we go.
Maybe he wrote it himself.
You never know. But yeah.
Or he let AI write it for him.
Yeah. But it was like a super.
You ever asked AI to write you something?
No, I tried.
It's really bizarre.
I tried it one time. I tried asking it about something, and it was kind of funny, the AI, because the first part was a whole bunch of facts,
mm-hmm.
and then like 5 sentences down, it was it's like the biggest bullshitter in the world.
Fluff.
It literally took like information from everywhere to the point where the information was so
confounded
all over the place.
Yeah.
That you ended up with like really good facts, and then all of a sudden it was like bullshit. Then like, and it's like what'd you do? It's like this, like how to defuse a bomb.
Yeah.
Is an example. Okay.
Sure.
And so it says how do I defuse a I need instructions on how to defuse a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning, it's saying, oh, well, a pipe bomb has a pipe with this stuff inside, and they tighten the ends, and they have a clock, and it has a wire, and it lights things up, da-da-da-da-da. And then it goes right to, well, don't cut the green wire before you cut the red wire. It's like it went from like reality to like it found some information on a movie on how to defuse a bomb. And
integrated it all together.
It's like, make sure you cut it before the last second. It's like, Jesus. But so AI, in fact, AI's in trouble right now. The new, speaking of news, AI's in trouble because this one Chat GPT is getting sued by a group of people because I guess it's doing what they assume Trump and all these and Brexit and all them did, where they got that company that went out and what they call scrape data.
Oh,
where they go out and because Chat AI, how it works is it goes out and finds data that's just out there. And sometimes the data isn't just like data readily mining. Available. It's
right.
literally data mining. It's taking this data. They call it scraping, where it just takes all this data and tries to bundle it up into a ball and make an animal out of it. A data animal or an answer to a problem. And I guess like there was like these 10 people that had paid all this money to be basically their data to not be online, or they signed waivers stating their data wouldn't be covered or whatever. And this data mining software from ChatGPT just
scooped it
all up, and basically started relaying their shit out into the open.
Oh, great.
So everybody's like, oh, who gives a shit about, if my phone knows that I went to Publix today 6 times, well, it might not matter right now, but then it takes all those 6 times.
It's telling,
and says, oh, well, he went out and he loves Celsius, so he's been buying a box of Celsius for a week. Now all of a sudden you're getting ChatGPT advertisements or calls or robocalls from the Celsius company,
right,
giving you coupons or trying to sell you on a new, more elaborate Celsius company's shit because, well, if he drinks Celsius, he might drink our stuff,
Yeah.
And so that's where that all goes into like a really bad bin, know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan, but it's going to be a lesson learned.
Having a smartphone in our pockets has made us dumber as a society.
Oh yeah. Well,
for instance, I've baked chicken for a very long time.
Yes.
Before the smartphone invention, you had a written down recipe.
Or a book.
And after you read it a few times, you usually remembered like, oh, I baked this kind of chicken at 425. I baked that kind of chicken at whatever.
Right.
375, whatever.
Right.
Now, I'm so used to having the damn phone.
You forget?
I forget that I'm baking the chicken at 425 or whatever, like the boneless, skinless thighs what we buy.
Right.
And it's like, oh, God, I'm not this stupid. What am I doing?
Exactly. Well, and that's with everything.
Right, exactly.
And people depend on it so much. I guess I'm not
right.
that guy that likes to depend on the shit as much.
No, exactly.
We came from where our, and here's where I wanted to go in. My next segment was, it's not funny stuff, but basically YouTube. The way I look at things is YouTube is, they call everybody that's on YouTube, including us, as little as we are, influencers. Okay.
Okay.
Influencing means you're influencing, you're helping, you're
in
my eyes is you're giving something to somebody else to make things better for somebody.
Yeah. Right. Entertainment value.
Entertainment value. It could be entertainment, could be knowledge. I mean,
right.
For there might be a kid now that decides he's not going to punch a bear in the nose because he knows what's going to happen.
Right. He might go to the ER and get stitches or lose his arm.
Or lose his arm or get a chunk taken out of him.
Shit could happen.
Okay? You never know how somebody's going to relay stuff like that. Like when I was growing up, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all this shit.
Right.
I watched a lot of TV and I learned a lot of what I know about cars and everything else from either your dad, your grandpa, your friend,
your next door neighbor, whatever.
Your coworker, whatever. That's how you learned how to do shit.
Yeah.
Or a book. Imagine that. You go and get a book.
Yeah, you read a book.
You read the book, And now it's like you just go out to YouTube and pop, and all of a sudden here's how you change the spark plugs on a 1995, Chevy Jimmy, and that's how it works. And that's the way it rolls.
Wasn't Jimmy a GMC and then Chevy was a Blazer?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. So, Kimmy's now in the automotive industry now. So now she's
and I'm having fun.
Yes. Much better than the boat industry by far.
Oh my God, the boat industry sucks.
Yep. So, We'll get into that another day. But anyway, back to stay on focus, because I don't like to do that very often. I really wanted to get this out tonight because here's a good example. Okay, like influencing somebody. You know, everybody has somebody that influences them in some way or shape or form.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
might be YouTube, it might not be.
Right.
The whole reason why we wanted to do what we're doing here is strictly because of the fact I wanted to give somebody some other entertainment, whether it's funny, not funny, serious,
somewhat humorous, yeah,
thought provoked, who knows,
right,
knowledgeable, whatever the case may be, better than hearing hey, everything's on the left or everything's on the right, or I just got a new Lamborghini last week, or I got a new I bought this Rolls Royce and now I'm part of the Rolls Royce club and I buy expensive alcohol,
exactly,
or whatever, I buy $2,000 bottles,
and these
of
people
whiskey.
are out of your bracket.
Yeah, like nobody. It's like, it's cool that you can watch it, but it's like, is it really influencing you?
Yeah.
Is it really helping you? Is it really giving you a place that you can stop and say?
I mean, if it's what drives your goals, great.
Yeah. But the way I'm looking at it is like this. It's like, we are the most well, we're not normal by far. Normal is not the word, but when it comes to like relatable, because we don't have a lot of money.
Right.
We do everything on a budget like everybody else in the whole wide world right now. The inflation, affects us just as much as it affects everybody else. But you need a little break from inflation woes and everything else. But we can also influence you in another way, maybe teach you something, learn, maybe be able to learn something. Like when I was growing up, my influencer was, like a lot of people have their fathers or whatever. Most of my influence came from, like a couple people that were close friends or like, say, like a coworker, like how I got into what I do now. I was just a measly kid that knew anything and everything how to fix anything that had electric plugged into it. I went to school for that. I was going to college for engineering to do it. And the guy basically went and applied for a job, a computer job. In fact, if it wasn't for Kimmy, I'd probably be hooking up car stereos still, because that was the job I was going for. And she's like, "Oh, come on, let's just try this other job real quick. It's to deliver computer monitors that are being repaired, because back in the day you didn't buy a new
it was like a tube TV,
and you could fix them. And so it was cheaper to fix them than it was to buy new ones.
Yes.
So I went to work for a company, and that company also did computer repair, and that's where I got my start in the discussion. So basically, but that was my start, not like a takeoff. That dog is freaking killing me. But anyway,
that dog food must be like extra high protein or something.
Extra high protein. But long story short is, so basically the influencing thing, it's basically like this, like when I was starting off, I had this man. Basically, I got a job that I shouldn't have had. Is basically the gist of it. I didn't have the knowledge or the expertise or anything that went along with it to do the job that I got hired for. I went to an interview for a very large company for an IT job that required me to do a lot of things that I went to school for a little bit of them, but not all of them. And the guy what I didn't know about him was he was just trying to fill voids, because before he could leave, he had quit the company and he was on his last couple months, and he could leave early if he checked all of his boxes before he left. And I was a box. Basically, they needed to hire somebody for a corporate office, IT guy, for a big corporation. And so I'm the only guy that showed up that day. So on the way home, I got the job.
Mm-hmm.
And not realizing that I would never talk to this man ever again. Went to work for the first 2 weeks, and they kind of sent me all over the place. Even took me to Michigan to kind of check me out.
Right.
And I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't have any background. I didn't have anything.
Well, you had like some assembly and stuff knowledge, but not the knowledge they were looking for at the time.
Nothing that pertained to the job I was doing.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about knowledge-wise.
Okay.
And so basically they took me in, and they took me in, and I went up to Michigan for 2 weeks. Then I came back. And I guess they were waiting for the guy that hired me. I was his last checkbox, and he was out the door.
Right.
Never heard from him again.
Yeah.
So I was already doing the job. They didn't even check my qualifications. Like I was working at the job, and I'm getting calls from my old employers going, "Hey, from a bike shop,
right?
Hey. They called me today wanting to know about you, checking your references."
Wow.
And I'm like, they did? It's like, it's kind of weird to check your references
after they hire you.
You've already gotten a job,
right?
So I was getting a little nervous. And the company had bought this building, and the building wasn't even, it was a bank that had been defunct. And they had gutted the building. It literally was like a bank. And it was designed to be a bank, and it even had places where they had these big vaults that used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And one side was a bank, and one side was a doctor's office. And it had this big X-ray machine that was stuck in this room. And because it was expensive to get rid of, they just left it behind because it had radioactive shit in it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even throw it away. And so, not knowing about all of that, they had to clean it up to start building so they could put these executives. And there was literally 10 offices in an office that by the time it was done, just to let you know how big the building was, it was there was probably a good 40, 50 offices in this building, and training rooms and all this other shit that went along with it.
Conference rooms, yeah.
And when I started, there was 10. I didn't even have an office because all the executives got the offices. I was in a little closet, and I took a piece of drywall that was laying off the side and some metal that was for the walls, cut it, and made a desk out of it, and that's where I sat. And this guy that ended up, he comes up to me, and I don't know who he is. Comes up and he's like, "Well, I'm the temporary IT guy. IT director for the whole company. The guy that hired you is no longer here." And I came to basically I was told to come and let you go, so I could hire a new IT guy. And I'm sitting there like,
oh shit,
23-year-old kid going, okay. And then he goes, "But we're not going to." And you know what? This guy said, "I'm temporary, but I'm going to be here for a while. It looks like you're a hard worker. You figured out how to make yourself an office and a desk." He goes, "You know what? Looks like you have heart. It looks like you care about doing something. If you listen to me and you keep listening to me, you can have this. You can keep this job. And I will have somebody, and we will train you. Whatever it costs, we'll train you and build you into what you need to be." So, 23-year-old kid's like, okay, sure.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like I don't have to.
I keep my job.
Yeah, I get to keep my job, and guess what? I don't have to fill toy machines and fix jukeboxes and pool tables anymore, and listen to my brother yell at me. Sounds like a great idea. And this is how bad the building was. Now it's starting to be like I'm like help desk because they need to do something with me. So I'm answering phone calls for the help desk.
Right.
And I'm on the phone, and I look up, and no joke, this place was so rotted out and so nasty and it was like it had been defunct for so long. There was like creatures like spiders and snakes and shit hidden in the walls. And I'm on the phone and I look up in this little closet I'm working out of, and all of a sudden there's a spider, and I'm not exaggerating. It was this fucking big, and it got to the point that I was so used to it, I had a broom and other stuff to shoo shit away, snakes, whatever. And I'm like, hold on a second, and I'd put the phone down, and go over, boom, and you'd hear this big loud crash, and they're like, and you hear somebody on the handset on the phone going, "Hello,
what was that?" Right?
Is everything okay? And I'm like, bam, 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 fucking stuff like, you son of a bitch, kicking it and everything else. It's like, what? And anyway, it's like, and then I get back, yeah, oh yeah. So is the computer rebooted by now? But this guy gave me the opportunity, and why I talk about is that I consider the guy. You know, I wouldn't be where I am today without him.
Yeah.
Yes, I did the hard work. Yes, I did the training. Yes, I did all the other stuff.
Yes.
But he was the guy that influenced me to be something else.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't just teach me about IT. You know, anybody can hand you a book or say, go out there and learn this or whatever.
Absolutely.
But he was the one that's like, well, you know, you gotta be more professional about this. You know, you gotta be like that. Like, I got mad about this guy, and this guy, Mike Sutton, I remember his name like it was yesterday. And I used to hate this guy because he would call me every other day, and he did not. And it was back when laptops were first kind of
they were big and thick and not very large.
They weren't really used in the business place like they are today.
Yeah.
And Mike Sutton was sitting there, and he would call and he would yell and scream on the phone because he was just aggravated with this thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just doing my best, young kid, trying to help him out,
trying to hold it together,
trying to hold it together while I talk to this guy on the phone, right?
Yeah.
And he just would piss me off, and he'd do it like every single day almost. It was like, I'm like, where did they find this fucking idiot, you know? And so one day I go up, and it's like, this is like 2 weeks in, and I go into the Jim's office, this guy, the guy that was the director, and I said, why don't they fire this guy? He goes, who? I said, Mike Sutton. Why? He calls me every day. Doesn't know how to do anything. Doesn't know how to do this. Doesn't know how to do that. And I'm like, and he's like, well, here's the story, Sam. He goes, if the guy is, he goes, if he, here's the biggest issue with that. It's like, Mike Sutton isn't one guy. He owns his own company. He's so big. He's like the whole Eastern Seaboard. He's the biggest seller of tape for the whole damn side of the fucking country. Mm-hmm. He goes, this guy sells more tape than any of the other salespeople in the whole fucking country. And he has 7 people underneath him, and they all work like subcontractor. Mm-hmm. You don't support them.
Right.
And every time he has a problem with his computer, he's frustrated because he has to deal with those 7 people.
Right.
And it's like, so the way you've got to look at it is that he's the one paying. You're not making money for the company.
Right.
He's paying your bills.
Yeah.
And on top of that, if he knew what you knew, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That's the basic of the story.
Sure.
And, you know, things like that. Learning experiences that this man gave me in the profession.
Right.
Be professional.
Yeah. So this guy could sell, tape like a madman, but when it came to technology, he was challenged.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this guy could sell ice to an Eskimo, but he couldn't, write it in a computer.
Right.
Type it in a computer to save his life.
Right.
And this is pre-internet.
Yeah.
This is like Excel sheet, email out, shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so or facts from your computer, whatever the case may be.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And so that's the type of guy this was.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jim taught me all that.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me how to be professional. Taught me how to take the hit, because they really aren't mad at you.
They're not mad at you. They're mad at the
problem.
situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you're just there to deal with. And so he taught me not only how to be an IT person, but how to be an IT person,
mm-hmm.
and how to just be a person in general.
Right.
Yeah, without having that father figure around.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
He was like that father figure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and another one that was there was, you know, that was my direct report about, you know, right below him,
mm-hmm.
was the same. You know, this guy was the one actually teaching me the, you know, the IT stuff. He wouldn't just tell me the answer. He would go, well, what about this?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, you know.
That's how you learned.
That's how you learn. But in all my life, that's how I've learned how to do things. Not just from YouTube, but from there. And kids these days don't do that. And
No.
and it's a shame, because some of that older knowledge should be influenced out to other people.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's why I like doing what we do out here on YouTube.
Yes.
Because I'm hoping that maybe something that we say will trigger somebody, you know, help somebody
Inspire
else.
someone else.
Yeah, inspire and influence them to do something in their own life.
Well,
even if we're just
that's a
keeping
good
them preoccupied off of their own shit for an hour.
Definitely.
You know, and so, and it doesn't end from when you're young. It's like all the way through your life.
Yeah.
And then after you're done, you just hope that you can be that guy for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, whether, you know, until you get old enough that, you know, you're too old to be relevant either. So.
And then we'll wear the no-slip slippers.
And then we'll wear the no-slip slippers and become
fall
the president.
up the stairs.
And fall upstairs.
Yeah.
So that's my rant for the day. But
I had to wrap that in.
Yeah, the no-slip. Yeah. Even though we're not political, everybody that, you know, it's.
Hey. Whoever's fan you are, good for you.
Yeah.
But
you know,
I'm making jokes on facts.
Yeah, I make jokes. That's the thing. It's not and it's not a fact to one side.
It's like
either.
what you told me about because we got rid of the S10. I don't know if we talked about that on a show, but we sold it. And you told me, what did you tell me when the guy drove by and he's revving it up and he's burning rubber and all that stuff? What did you tell me?
Oh yeah. Well, the guy's driving by because he's happy.
Right. And he's showing.
And he's showing his happiness towards you because you did something nice for him. And he's like, hey, look how much I'm enjoying the truck you
sold me this. Yeah. He's not pissed. He's happy.
He's extremely happy that he got what he got.
Yep.
And it just makes it that easy.
And he waves every day because we get home about the same time.
And it just makes it that much easier.
So it was pretty cool.
Easier, too, because, you know, we did give him quite the deal. So.
Well, I mean, he could easily sit on it and flip it, whatever. I mean, that's his business. It's his truck now.
Exactly.
But, you know, hey, we could have sat on it and probably done the same thing, but
instead,
that was a choice I made.
Now it's Now it's a well-used vehicle that somebody's happy with.
Exactly.
And that's all that matters.
That is exactly what matters.
Yep, that's exactly what matters.
We made somebody happy.
Mm-hmm. And gave them their chance to do something with it too.
Yes.
Just like we get, you know, so.
And we had a little money to invest in the little doohickey.
In the car.
Yeah. Well, the show too. We had the gimbal. Remember?
Yeah, the gimbal.
Yeah.
Got the gimbal. Got the truck. Got tires on the car.
Tires on the car.
You know, tires are a weird thing because tires are like that thing. It's like
a belt.
Yeah, it's like buying something like this pen. It's just like buying this pen. When this pen runs out of ink, you just have to go buy another pen.
I got one too.
There's nothing to show off about the pen.
Right.
It's just that now you just can keep working.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and tires drive me nuts because it's not. We're not talking like tires and custom rims. Even it has custom rims, but We're not talking like tires and rims. We're just talking just the black shit that's on the outside of the rim. You know, it's like you see that. It's like nobody comes up to your car and goes, "Hey, man, nice set of tires you got there. Oh, you got some Michelins there. That's the way to go, isn't it, buddy? Yeah, I had some of them Hukisaki Chinese knockoff ones, and they suck.
We did that knockoff shit, and there's a huge difference.
I honestly didn't realize how much of a difference there is. There's other
like road noise,
there's all these internet influencers that are sponsored by
all
like
these weird ass name tires,
and then there's these guys that have and all the high dollar guys always have Michelins,
right?
And they're like, oh, you want the contact sport? They look good, they drive good, and you're like, yeah, whatever. You know, you're just trying to sell me something because Michelin gave you some money to say, hey,
to say their name a few times.
Put our name in, get 25% off.
Yeah.
And sell them some $300 tires. But I didn't realize how much difference there is between Chinese knockoff and
the real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
holy crap.
All the time you think, oh, they're probably made in the same factory, you know?
Right.
Or this company makes this tire, so it has to be the same. And sometimes that's the case, but very rarely, not when it comes to
what it comes down to is if you're getting a cheaper item, it's because it's been manufactured cheaper.
So guess what? Because there's nobody's just going to go, hey, I'm just going to give you some cheap shit for some really good shit for the same price as...
Yes.
Yeah.
No. So if they're telling you they're building Daewoo's in the Mercedes factory, that doesn't mean you drive a Mercedes.
Yeah. That means you got a Daewoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you bought the L Camry and you see they have a TRD model doesn't mean that you can drive like the guy in the TRD model.
Right. The mechanics and all the stuff.
All the equipment
all of that stuff's different.
Is a lot different.
There's a reason that car was cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they're not going to give you a discount for just no reason at all.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah. There's tons of shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's so. I guess I'm done with my rant for the night.
I'm tired.
Kimmy's tired. And we gotta fucking go. So please like and subscribe. Like I said before, if you can, please go look up Sammitized on Kick.
Yes.
And follow. There's nothing out there yet because they won't let us do shit until we have 5 subscribers, which makes no sense. Spotify, we're going to start putting out our last run episode. You know, it might be one episode in arrears probably, but it's on a higher quality thing, and they have video and audio now, which I didn't know people did that. So yeah, go check us out on Spotify and sign up for that as well. And but other than that, please if you have a friend and you can get them on YouTube and get them to sign up, please do so, because we'd like to get that 500 at least. The more, if we can get monetized so we can get a little money,
yes,
that'd be great, because that would help us out, because we just want the money for our show.
Yes.
We're not going to go and become the crazy, change like some of these other guys have. We just need money so we can make the show better. That's all.
Yes.
So, the more money we make, the more money we can put into it, the more shit we can go do, the more fun it looks like, instead of just being here with the... And
let's face it, we're pretty entertaining when we have shit to do.
Yes. Yeah. When we're out on the road, we're a lot more entertaining than sitting here in front of you. So, anyway. But thank you guys. Well,
I'm entertained, but I don't count.
Yeah. I entertain myself, but I'm just
pretty
weird.
much. Yeah, we do that. That's what we do.
But anyway, so everybody have a good night. Thank you so much.
Gotta fucking go. See ya.
GFG, guys. Gotta fucking go. Till next time, well, we'll see you on Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yes.